Hey guys, Tom here for the Velocity YouTube channel, back again for another video. Today we have this absolutely amazing Scout 2 that we're going to walk you through, one of our Heritage Series models. Really cool truck with the hard top. Very rarely see this sort of configuration, and this one is sold. It was built specifically for a customer. We're going to walk you around this one today as if you're standing here with me. Can't wait to do it with you. First thing we want to touch on, as always, is the front end of this truck. Really nice looking, obviously very classic. This is the Scout 2. For those who don't know, we get asked this question a lot. There are a couple different models, a number of different models of Scouts. The earlier Scouts were the 80 and the 800, and then they became the Scout 2. The 8800s were shorter in wheelbase, and they just have a kind of more stubby, for want of a better word, kind of look, versus the Scout 2 is much bigger, similar actually, almost by a couple of inches, to a K5 Blazer of kind of the earlier generation. So all in all, the Scout 2 is a bigger vehicle. This one, as you can see me standing next to it, about 6 foot with my boots on here, it's tall. This is a tall truck, but also its overall form factor is much larger. And of course, the Scout 2 had a different grille back to the front of the truck than the Scout 8800. So a little bit of information there. This is a 2. All we build are 2s. We have done a couple of custom 8800s before, but this is a 2 in the production line vehicles that we build are 2s. The 2, of course, has this iconic front end with this large grille piece, and what the guys have done is they've added some billet elements to it. So billet grille surrounds, billet headlight surrounds. These headlights are actually a Holley Retro Bright LED. You'll have seen them on our builds before. They look old school, but of course they are new LED technology in there as well. You do have the front chrome bumper, international badge on the front. That's always going to be there. The side reflectors as well. All in all, very classic, very clean look. We're going to move on to the exterior on the side now, but just one quick thing I want to note is this is Harvest Moon, this color. So it's very similar. It's the same color to what we do on Broncos. This customer's actually owned a couple of our vehicles before building this Scout 2, and so always like the Harvest Moon color. It's the first time we've done Harvest Moon on a Scout, and it looks absolutely excellent. As you come down the side of the vehicle, then you're going to see more of that Harvest Moon, and also now the secondary color, which is this brown. And this is actually a decal. It's a stripe, hard sort of wearing area on the side of a vehicle. Obviously, risk of rock chips and things coming up if you are going to be doing light on-road, off-road driving. So this is a decal. We don't hand paint it. It makes it easier to replace if it does get a chip. But as you're standing further away, there's no way you wouldn't think it was painted. It looks excellent. And this kind of brown features all the way through the vehicle. It's on the hardtop, and then it kind of goes into the interior. So overall theme of this one is cream and brown. Really classic looking, came out really nice. It is a Heritage Series. I mentioned that at the start of the video. Heritage Series means it's the second trim level up that we offer. It goes Signature, Heritage, and then Founders right at the top. This is a Heritage. As part of that Heritage package, you get that stripe. You also get a lot of the billet components. So billet mirrors, billet door handles, you get billet fuel cap as well, and then you also inside get all sorts of billet, which we'll come on to. That's part of that Heritage Series. Another thing is these steely wheels. If you look at these, also matched in that Harvest Moon color, look fantastic. Running a BF Goodrich all-terrain tire on here as always, and overall looks really impressive. I love the style of this truck. You can do with some of the more modern colors the bullet hole style wheels similar to the ones that we do on the Bronco, and those look good with a metallic. We've built a number of red and blue metallic Scouts, like dark blues and dark reds, that look good with that chrome wheel. But here, with this Harvest Moon, I think the steel style wheel looks amazing. Let me know what you think in the comments, but overall this whole truck has got a real nice heritage vibe. Come down the side a little bit further, and of course you are going to be able to see that full hardtop then, and this is one of the very few Scouts that we've built with a hardtop. I think we've only ever done 1 or 2 before. A hardtop being, of course, fully enclosing the vehicle. So it does function. It is completely sealed all inside. The customer wants to be able to drive this vehicle regularly, must use it as their daily driver, and so the hardtop enables that. It is removable. Obviously, it's a bit of a pain to remove. You have to have somewhere to put it, but you can remove them. That's also quite a common question, but looks great. I love the brown, actually. I was a little bit worried when the customer first spec'd the hardtop in brown, if it would be a bit too much, you know, if like it would become overly brown. But breaking it up with the Harvest Moon and then the brown stripe, I think it works really well. And then when we get into the interior, you're going to see, that's my favorite part of this truck, it just kind of all wraps together in this nice consistent color scheme, which is cool. Come around the back of the Scout then, and a couple of little details I want to show off. Obviously, we've got a matching chrome rear bumper like the front one as well. You do also have a billet badge here as well. This one, given it is the hardtop, you do have the hardtop window as well as the tailgate will drop it down. There's actually a button back here rather than a full handle, which is really cool on these Scouts. I like it a lot. Drop this down, you're going to get the first sneak preview of the interior, and I want to just touch really quickly on the back of the tailgate, this panel. This is leather, it's a brown leather all the way through the vehicle, but one of my favorite things on these Scouts, all the panels, the side panels have them as well, the guys just bring a little bit of the exterior color inside. So that's that Harvest Moon dropped in with the brown I mentioned a minute ago, this kind of color scheme all coming together, and that's just one of those examples. Lots of space in the back of a Scout too, similar to when you do a K5 with a hard top. If you look at that actual opening size and then the size of the load area, it is plentiful. There is lots of space. I'd even hazard a guess you could probably get like a dog kennel. Depends how big your dog is, I suppose, but you could even get like a dog kennel or certainly multiple luggage bags and things in there. So loads of space, good for the family. The rear occupants have loads of legroom as well. Big truck, this one sits up tall as well, which overall looks great. There is Raptor lining all the way underside of this truck and then on the tailgate too, but we've covered it because it's a Heritage Series in that leather panel. Looks fantastic. LED lights at the back too for your brakes and for your indicators for your turn signals. So all of that is what you would expect out of a Velocity build, but looks really, really good. Rear view camera hidden as well here too. Before we go through the interior on this one, I just want to show you, when people ask why would you spend so much money on a restoration on a classic vehicle, obviously there are a heap of reasons, right? Collectability, if you had the truck as a dream truck from your childhood or if you owned one, yeah, 100 reasons, right? However, one of the things that you just don't get on modern trucks or cars anymore, other than maybe a select few, is this noise. I hope it picks it up, how good that sounds, this door shut. Oh my God, it just sounds fantastic. And actually overall, that's a testament to the work that the guys do about 500 foot that way in our metal shop, because to align all of these panels, the doors, everything, they actually fully build the truck before they paint it. And a lot of the panels on a Scout, unlike some of the other trucks that we do, Bronco, K5, etc., are actually original. There's not as many aftermarket suppliers or licensing. You know, Scout obviously only made these for a limited amount of time. They don't kind of support the aftermarket in the same way as some of the other OEMs, and so a lot of these panels are actually original that have been restored, but they didn't make them like that. They didn't make them with these sort of tolerances. So testament to the guys back there, it looks fantastic. Anyway, I'll stop waffling about nothing now and let's actually talk about this interior. This door card here, door panel, very similar to that tailgate panel. You'll have seen these before on the last Heritage Scout 2 that we did a video of, which was the grey metallic one, but this one finished in brown. It's a design, again, inspired by the original Scout 2 interior, but with modern elements, and of course it's all custom made here in-house. This isn't bought off the internet and put in. This is all designed here. A couple of key highlights in this door panel going to be the billet components. So this is a completely custom 5-axis CNC machined piece of billet aluminum here for your door release. Again, looks simple, but actually some real thought went into how this sits flush and how it actually feels to actuate is really nice. You've got your speaker cup here as well, full focal speaker system behind that. The color, the Harvest Moon, talked about that before, just coming through. And of course, because it's a Velocity, you do have full electric windows. This looks like an old school window regulator, but it is all electric. You also have electric steps as well, automatic running boards that make getting in and out of the vehicle really easy. They operate on a pin. So when you shut the door, they disappear up, and when you open the door, they come down. And this truck is, like I mentioned a minute ago, tall. You do sit up nice and high in this vehicle. Visibility is pretty good all round. I will be honest, it's not the best in a Scout 2, just because of, if you see how tall the hardtop is off the top of the truck, there's like not loads of room, but the guys do a really good job of trying to get in the seat position as much as possible, so you do have that visibility. Overall, very, very comfortable. These seats are a sport style Recaro seat. In a minute, we're going to talk about the inserts, but just right now, I've got lots of adjustability, really comfortable. Let's talk about some more things on that Heritage series. First thing's going to be this steering wheel. It's a Spark Industries billet aluminum steering wheel. Again, all machine, really nice, leather wrapped, a Velocity logo in the middle. It just looks fantastic. These are things that you cannot just buy online. We make them specifically for these vehicles. Your steering column has been painted in that Harvest Moon. That's another thing that you get as part of that Heritage package, just a little extra detail. And it is adjustable like I just did, so you can lock it into place. And if you're somebody taller or shorter, you can move it around if you need to. This is a 10-speed automatic, so of course your gearbox here, your transmission's controlled by this lever. Now, much like all of the other vehicles Velocity builds, you do have a full Dakota Digital instrument cluster here as well. So it looks original. If I turn the ignition on, you'll see it light up here. Looks original, but actually is all electronics. It's really cool because you've got the original looking style, even with this wooden trim that's been put around it, but then you've got these two screens that give you some more information, like live miles per hour and your readings, what gear you're in, pressures and oil temperatures and all of that good stuff. So it's really, really cool. I love how this one looks. I think this might be, I like the Bronco one too, but I think this actually might be my favorite Dakota Digital style dash for this vehicle because it's just so sleek and so cool. But anyway, that's the front of this. You got two other things down here. You got your light switches here, pull, push, all of that. Switch gear is billet aluminum as well because of that heritage package. Overall, lots of improvements. Let's swing around the other side so I can show you the rest of the interior. All right, so let's talk through the rest of the interior then. I mentioned these sport seats just a second ago, very comfortable, but for the eagle-eyed of you, well, it's pretty obvious. These have custom fabric inserts in them, and this is something that we've began to do more and more frequently now, very popular by customers. And this one turned out great. Why? Because it's a kind of cream flannel insert that wraps great with the interior, bringing the exterior together. Looks fantastic, super soft as well. I love how these came out. They're like the classic mix between like a vintage design with like a modern seat. It just looks great, especially with that Harvest Moon. It was almost like, it wasn't, but it was almost like this material was designed to go specifically for this truck. Came out great. Anyway, that's the seats, very comfortable, lots of adjustability. Let's talk about this center console. Because it's the Heritage series, you do get this full center console. Again, common theme with these Heritage trucks is this is not bought off the shelf. It's not bought from another company. They are all designed here. Fully custom cubby box here, magnetized, not lockable, but you do have the hard tops and nice and secure inside anyway. Fully finished out inside with Alcantara, USB 3.0 USB-C charging, and extra control here for your audio system, which we'll come on to in a second, but you do have even more control, and this thing is really nice. The sound system is amazing. We were just testing it out there a second ago. Magnetized too, if you hear that, just nice, easy. Moving forward then, you're going to notice the wooden grain that comes in on the interior on the dash. Also down here, two drinks holders. You do have heated seat controls as well. High and low range levers as well for your transfer case. And finally, you do have a full wireless charging pad as well. I love, if you come a little bit closer, the Velocity Flying V etched in there as well. Just looks amazing. Could have easily left it as that normal universal wireless charging symbol, but the guys didn't. They took the time to make it and put it in there. Now I'm going to set my phone down and put it on charge, talk you through this screen really quickly. This is actually the largest screen that we offer on all Velocity vehicles, and it is only available on the Scout. Why? Because if you look at this slanted dash, there is no easy way to put a smaller double-din touchscreen. Now, normally our design ethos on these vehicles is to try and make the technology kind of as minimal as possible and as least invasive as possible, which why when we started building these Scouts, especially with the Heritage series, we were a little bit worried, does this kind of take away from it because the screen's so big? So you're kind of only one that fits here, but actually, I think given the functionality of this truck and also the customers like daily use case, Apple CarPlay, being able to get everything in here, your navigation here, I think the trade-off, even if it does look a little bit too modern in my opinion, I think the trade-off of functionality is really cool. Spoke about the speaker system a second ago. Obviously I won't really pick it up on the speakers, but it's so good. I cannot actually describe to you how good this speaker system is. All of our speaker systems are really good, but I think the Focal upgraded system in here, plus, turn this down a little bit, plus the kind of acoustics inside the cabin with the hardtop just make this speaker system sound that extra bit special. The bass in here is insane. And then that Apple CarPlay, being able to throw your phone straight up there, all in all, just a really, really cool solution and system, which I love. Speak about this dash in a little bit more detail. Look underneath the infotainment and you're going to find all of your AC controls. So full vintage air AC in this one. You'll see the lower custom AC plenum as well, where your AC is going to come out of. This is the controls, fan speed, temperature, all of that good stuff. Hood releases here too inside on the dash, not outside, which is nice. You just pull that and it pops the hood. You do have a little cubby box here as well. Dash pad has been finished in that leather. And then if we look upstairs, we do have a full Alcantara headlining as well, all the way through the hardtop, and a brown to match 6-point roll cage. So you still get the 6-point roll cage inside the hardtop as well, which just all in all looks fantastic. It all wraps together really well. That's it for the interior. We're going to talk about the engine and drivetrain next. Hopefully you guys haven't been too disturbed by the absolute downpour that is going on. So I don't actually think we're going to be able to drive this one today. Classic Florida weather. It'll probably be sunny again in 30 minutes or so. So I might do a weird thing with a clothes change. But hey, YouTube magic, I'm sure we'll make it all work. Open up the engine bay so we can talk through the drivetrain of this one. And of course, the first and most interesting thing about a Scout 2 versus almost all of the other models we build is this hood and the way it opens. It opens from the front rather than the back, or the back rather than the front. It opens the reverse way. Engine in this one, of course, being a Scout 2 from Velocity, it's the LT1. So 6.2 litre V8, about 460 horsepower, tons of bottom end torque. That's coupled to a 10L80, a 10-speed automatic transmission. Same sort of deal. It's a new transmission, new engine. All of these components are warranted and they're designed for regular daily driving. So you've got all the highway speeds that you need, power that you need for highway speeds, ease of that transmission, very quick shifting, smooth shifting as the 10L80, but also serviceability. You can service this engine really anywhere. Any modern mechanic can work on an engine like this. You could take it to a Chevy dealer, you could take it really to any dealership, they'll be able to work on it. Hydro boosted disc brakes all around on this one. They're hidden by the steely wheels, but they are there, so you do have lots of stopping power. And then just other like little things, fittings and fixtures in this engine bay. A lot of kind of space to work in on a Scout 2 versus a Bronco, so easy to make this look really nice and clean, but there are certain elements that have been hand built by the guys just to keep it really OE looking. OE plus is kind of what we call it internally, just to make it look like the engine was there. Of course, the mount, you've got the Velocity badge there with the serial number as well, goes on the engine cover. All looks really nice. Let's talk about the underside of this truck then. You do have a 4-link coilover Roadster Shop chassis underneath this. So this one from Roadster Shop is just fantastic. Driving characteristics of the vehicle are brilliant. It does drive on the highway 80, 90, 100 miles an hour plus very comfortably, very smoothly. You always feel in control with a vehicle like this. So all around, no expense spared in terms of the drivetrain. Again, customer wants to be able to drive it every single day. All of those components together give you that ability. All right, let's stretch her legs a little bit, see what she's got to the highway. Even with a big truck like this, that LT1 is damp on the floor. If I really stamped it, it might get a little bit lively. Main thing though is that you've got the confidence to be able to get up to highway speeds, you know, merge, get on the highway quickly. Right now we're at 70 miles an hour very easily, very comfortable, and again, very stable. Looking down at the steering wheel, it's kind of like looking down at a little piece of jewellery really. All the little fittings and fixtures. The brown works incredibly well with that cream. Elements of it on the dash, the brown on the dash pad. It's all come together really nicely on this truck. The wood panelling is really cool as well. One thing that you won't hear is any rattles. No rattles on this truck at all. Yeah, nothing. Even with that hard top, even with all the hardware, just solid. This is a really nice driving truck. Yeah, this truck drives great. Very, very, very nice truck. All round, I love this Scout 2. I love the color scheme, the heritage look. I love the fact that it's got the hard top, fully enclosed vehicle. The way the customer's going to use this is be able to drive it regularly and frequently, and obviously, as you can tell from the video, you're going to be able to do that. It really is a very special piece of a Velocity build, really good example of what we do best. Like I said at the start of the video, we have a couple of these slots available, so if you are interested in building a Scout 2 with us, let us know. You can find more information on the website down in the description below. Check out the link, and we will see you on the next one.